Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screen and LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump, I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The 10 brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale or get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shady clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. FOMO's gone, greed's the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. Diamond hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Code and chaos, no safety nets. Satoshi's ghost in my DMs told me to aim again and again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. If I crash, at least I tried. In this wild west of blockchain rights. I'll be trading till the lights go out. Charts are noise, but I live for the sound. One candle spike, and I'm back in town. Crypto's a fight, and I'm 10 toes down. Diamond hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. But I'll reload, I play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screen and LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump, I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The 10 brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale or get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shady clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart.
Good morning, guys. Hope you're having an awesome day so far. I'm getting ready for long today, so let's get the charts going here in a sec. Here, guys. Looks like I'm losing my camera. I think it has something to do with the fact that I just switched too quickly between a Zoom call and the live, so you can't see my face. Let's get that fixed. Okay, video capture. Good morning. One moment, guys. I'm sorry for the delay. I'm just getting the camera fixed here. Almost there. There we go. Okay. Oh, now I'm moving things I'm not supposed to. Lock that in place. And let's make it a little bit smaller. Throw me over here. All right. Cool. Okay. All right. Good morning. Sorry about that. Okay. So we have Coma in the chat. We got Sterling. How you doing, Sterling? Manny Boy. How you doing, man? Overcome. Mikey. Thenmo. What's up, man? Master. Barbalicious. Josh. F-bomb. What's up, guys? Okay, let's get to it. So today we were talking about in the community that how we're going to come down and come back to our valley area low where we're going to prepare for a long in our green box zone right here. I was still hoping for a sweep of the local low at, let's pull that down. Let's see, 88,462. We front run it so far by like, I don't know, like $30. A little frustrating. So I'm just, hopefully we get our head hit at this VWAP and we continue down with like a lower time frame, like a 5-minute brick structure lower, or an SFP. So either we get the SFP up this low. We did technically already get an SFP off of like this low right here at let's see, price tags at 88,619 with this candle right here. This was the confirming candle that swept that low, and it kind of just, and simultaneously got acceptance back inside the 15-minute orb, which by the way today is massive, because when we confirmed our 15-minute candle, it was just this massive engulfing reaction down. We expected to come back down, but didn't really give us a safe opportunity to actually jump in on a short or anything like that, because the confirming candle is just ridiculous. Your R&R would have been less than a 1-to-1. So you'd be risking to lose more than what you're trying to gain. And then when after fees, it just wouldn't have been worth your time and have been high risk. But now you're preparing for like us to go back into bull mode and return back up to the valley area high. Yesterday, we were talking about the same kind of thing. We're looking for longs down here. And we had a decent opportunity for a long during this moment right here. Because at that time, if you go back to yesterday's live, the orb was in this area, like the 15-minute open range. And so we got the break here of this ascending double bottom. We mitigated the supply, and then we had this break of structure confirmation, and this was like the confirming candle here that sparked the move back up. But the move up didn't make it to the valley area high because of two reasons, and both of them are very similar. We had our local point of control was like right here at the time, right? So that acted as a local form of resistance. And we also had our 66-day point of control right here. And I'll go back in time so I can show you where that point of control came from. But this is going to be, that 66-day point of control is going to be a really big guide for our upcoming trade, hopefully our upcoming trade if we come back down for our long. And I'll explain why, because we might have a strong continuation today. And the reason being is because we have a lot of pooled liquidity above this range thanks to the start of this squeeze that we had here, right? We did spark liquidity to be induced up here in the form of liquidations and stop losses, but this induced quite a bit of liquidity. So if we zoom out on the fact that we've been here for 3 days, right? We can go into the liquidation heat map chart. See, we're on the cast from yesterday on this computer. My other computer has the Bitcoin one. I'll get that set up right here for you. So we'll go to 3-day because we're in a 3-day range. So it's helpful to look at the 3-day liquidation heat map for that reason. Oh, by the way, cast looks like it just took some liquidity. So it might be going up as well. Let's go back to Bitcoin here though. Symbol BTC. And then we're going to change our time frame for our 3-day wraparound. And you can see right here, we have a decent amount of liquidity here. So if you're thinking like a market maker, their bias right now is bullish. Where would they want to prepare for a strong entry or their exit plan, right? Because they can jump in or get out with the least amount of price impact in high areas of liquidity like this. So this helps you control your bias when you're trading in a range or trading in a trend. And where key levels you got to prepare for potential reversals. And I marked that on the chart in the form of like a red box zone right here. We have other forms of confluences here to also prepare for a short if we don't use this high as a form of support. If we get a break of this area, we hold it as support and get the higher high, we'd already be above the 66-day point of control, and we could have a faster pace move up. But if we have maybe a sweep of this high with an SFP or a bearish change of character instead, then we prepare for a return back inside our value area and then a move right back down to the value area low. Now zooming out so I can explain to you why we're likely going to get a faster pace move. It's because when we look at the 66-day range that we've been dancing in, like right now we're positioned against the point of control as a form of resistance, but we're basically building a potential ascending double bottom, right? And closing above this point of control, we'd be at our value area high and would slip into this volume gap where you can predict faster pace moves to occur. And it starts to slow down right here where there's a lot of interest in this area. And if you look and zoom in on that area right now, it comes with the confluence of an area of interest in the form of supply right here. So we got to watch, like, even if we get past our valley area here, that we could come up and hit our head and return down or induce a new range above this one, right? Using this one likely as a form of support and preparing for a leg up and continuation. So likely get a fast-paced move from here to here, basically, is what I'm trying to suggest. And we'll likely hit our head there. So we gotta be careful. But until then, we gotta play what the range gives us. And it doesn't look like it's gonna give me the long that I wanted. There was a long opportunity here, but yeah, it was in the form of like an SFP right here when we swept this low. But this had the confluence of liquidity below it and the golden pocket. So we were hopeful, like, sitting on our hands, being patient for the better, higher confluence entry for this, like the safer probability. But looking like it's running away from us now. We just mitigated an order block. We had a 15-minute order block here and a 3-minute when we had this massive engulfing candle. So now what we got to look for next is that 66-day point of control as a form of resistance. So we could hit our head off of that area. Let's unlock this. And that price tag's at 90,200. Sorry, 90,024. So at 90,024, we had come with the confluence of this downtrending momentum that came from this, basically the extreme high of our range and the point of control. So we just got to watch this in case this brings us back down. 10-minute from the hourly SP. Yeah. Oh, I think we even got like a 5-minute too, man, on there, Brett. Let me pull up the chat here. I'm going to go live dashboard. Just going to move it off here for security reasons. And just want to be able to bring my chat up in the live here with you guys. And we're getting a pretty harsh reaction so far from after sweeping this local high. If we close below the point of control, then there's a high probability of us returning back down. But we are getting above that VWAP now. Pop out chat. Sorry if I'm inducing lag in the live here with all the actions I'm doing on the computer. There we go. All right. Yeah, the orb here is insane. So we're at the top of the orb. We're fighting against that local point of control. So we look at the lower time frame structure. Got a huge inside bar right now. So prepare for it. Yeah. So we get that sweep of the high if we're going to come down or not. A crazy move. Congrats to anyone who may have taken any sweeps from down here. So far doing so good. We've hit every technical target for, we hit the technical target for the SFP on the 3 minutes. This was 3 minute SFP. This was the technical target right here. If we go to the 5 minutes, same target area. 15 minutes, right? Sweeping, we got this legacy SFP from sweeping here. Right? The 15-minute target was right here. That was just hit. What do we get on the hourly? Hourly target is the same. Yeah. So we just hit basically up into the hourly's technical targets for SFPs right now. So this reaction could be a result of people getting out, taking some gains. It's pretty intense. We are looking at CAS yesterday, and CASPA has got like the sleeping dragon kind of structure, right? And it also just did a pretty intense SFP off of this low right here. CAS swept 0.039541, and the confirming candle was right here. We dipped down a little bit. Actually, we dipped down a little bit for an opportunity to get in between the confirmation point, which was right here, and the invalidation point, which is right here. So what you'd really kind of hope for a strong continuation, this being an amazing potential front run, is a break of this downtrending momentum and a breach of this local high here. And if we get past this, like structurally it's not too evidential that we're going to have a strong move up, but if we do break this neckline way up here, which by the way is percentage-wise is pretty darn far away from us. It's like 5%. So if we get a break above that key level here, we could end up inducing a trend-bound move all the way up, likely to the 50-day EMA, which is all the way up here, which will likely be flush with around the valley area high at 0.046. By the time we get up there, it might be a little bit lower. But yeah, these will be key areas you want to watch along the way up. So that SFP could have been the front run to everything. If you missed the SFP, just be super cautious trying to jump in. Maybe look at local structure. Let's go to the 15-minute here. Oh, the 15-minute looks wonky, man. Proper pullback here. Nice. So we'd have our change of character on the 15-minute for CAS right here. So we'd flip bullish for the 15-minute during this break. So if you missed the opportunity on the SFP, you could wait for a stronger position of strength around here, stop loss below that wick level, and your first initial area of interest to be around here, right? But if that breaks, then you can have a continuation much further up, and you'll be watching this as your next level at the 22-day point of control at 0.04382. Looking strong. Let's see what happens here. We're at the VWAP. We're at the downtrend momentum, so this is the test moment right now. This seller's momentum has been king right now, so we gotta get above that. With the confluence of that change of character, it'll be beautiful. And looking at Solana. Let's see how Solana's doing. Solana did kind of what we were hoping yesterday. Structurally not nice, but we're talking about a bounce off of this area of interest here at the Valley Area Low, which is also not just the local Valley Area Low, but the 252-day Valley Area Low from this range back here that started. Let's go back further. Sorry. This guy's been king. Yeah, this Valley Area has been helping us with an insane amount of trades for a long time now. We have this 252-day range here. We're at that Valley Area Low. So when we're preparing for longs with our lower time frame structure, kind of similar to what we're seeing right here, it's to help you prepare for the more macro move up to around $180, right? But 144 is the big boss that we have to beat, and we've been failing to beat it for almost 3 months now. Yeah, 70 days. Insane. So we'll see if we get that front opportunity for Solana. Solana looks like it also front ran a key level that I really wanted to see swept, but it's just by pennies. So on some exchanges that most likely got swept, and this was the confirmation candle telling us that we're going to come up to at least here, which is where we're at right now. This is the last proper pullback. When you have a sweep, that's where you look next, right? But you hope for a close above it to help induce a continuation. And if we do get that continuation on Solana, then we're going to be looking at the Valley Area high at 130 as our primary target, while being super mindful of this point control, especially when you're looking at a point control with this kind of structural behavior on the fixed range volume profile. Whenever you see a node with a strong volume gaps like this, you know it's a key area, right? Really strong key area. So we got to watch that as a form of resistance. And right now that's at 128.86, right? So we could hit our head here. If anything, what it could do in terms of structure is come up, we hit our head, bounce off the previous highs in confluence with the downtrending momentum, and then run up with a break of structure with a close above the point of control. And that's hopium TA. That's obviously the kind of, you got to visualize what kind of pathing that could occur when you're looking at your key levels. Like, what's the bullish scenario if we hit this, right? To help you control your emotions, visualize where the pullbacks would likely occur. And if you see any bearish change of characters, you just get out. 15-minute looks pretty good. So we got acceptance back inside of the Valley Area, and we'll confirm proper acceptance in the 15-minute once we close above this high. And let's see, what was the other asset people were asking me to look at yesterday? I believe one was Jasmy. Jasmy, we were hoping for a move down to here. The point of control held it up. So we had some relative strength with Jasmy. We still have, well, I wouldn't say we have relative strength right now, but we have SFP'd as well off of this low, like properly though. We didn't get any front run scenarios. And it's on its way to its target, which is right off this previous high when we had that proper pullback. So we're looking at 0.07756 is our next area of resistance for Jasmy. But the good news is, you know, if we get a close above that, we'd finally get above this like macro key level at 0.00746, and our next area of interest for resistance would become that 50-day EMA. We're close to the ceiling of this supply concern right here, right? And this supply is what helped induce this original pullback to begin with. We're starting to mitigate it. So those residual sell orders that might be resting here are finally being filled, and we'll see if they're strong enough to, maybe we'll get like an inverse head and shoulders kind of behavior, you know, something like this, and then we get like a strong move back up to our next area of concern, which will be this supply right here. So you'd mark this box zone on Jasmy from this high, so this low here, the high being at like 0.00827, and the low being at that 0.00807. Mark this as a sell confluence zone and send it back. So yeah, let's go back to Bitcoin though. See how it's doing. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to move that. I gotta lock these sometimes. There we go. That's not going anywhere now. At least not until the end of the session. We can delete this red box zone. It's been mitigated. What we got in the chat? Hey dude, may I get your perspective on Jasmine? I'm in a long, really believe in the company. Okay, cool. I'll give a little bit more information. I appreciate the tip again, man. So more of a macro-based view. We're approaching this downtrending momentum in confluence with the 50-day EMA and that supply, right? So this is your big boss that you want to have beat, right? If we get past this area of interest, we can red box this whole zone, right, to here, and then you can adjust it to mitigation. So if we send a step back so we can see a little bit better, we adjust it to mitigation, which is here. And this is all the potential residual sell orders that could be trapped in here left. But yeah, this is the 50-day EMA in confluence with downtrending momentum. It could really induce a reversal. So what you want to be careful about if you're in a longer term long is currently our key level is here. Unfortunately, that's pretty far down. But we might get a better one. If we break this high and get a proper pullback and then a higher high, then you can watch that as a key level to prepare for an exit plan to come down. This area should induce a pullback. So you should get that kind of structure. So we want to watch out for what's called like a bearish flip or a bearish change of character. A bearish flip is like a descending double top where we don't take the high, but we take out the low. Or like a bearish change of character where we do take the high, grabbing liquidity, using it as an exit plan, and then breaking the low, using the sell side liquidity to help drive the price down. So that's what I'd be mindful of right at this moment. But getting past this, that's when you can start laughing about your long position, because we should have a very fast-paced move up, probably sprint, like about 5% climb up into this zone. You can see we have fair value gaps here, and we moved just as quickly here before in the past. If we zoom out even further, we can see if that kind of behavior is common in this zone. And these would come in a form of like a volume gap similar to this and the fixed range volume profile. So we have like a gap here in volume, a gap here in interest. So if you think about like why this happens, if you have a really good understanding of order books, you'll understand why it moves quickly like that. And if you think about the like asking and the price, the sell limit orders that are going on in the order books, when let's say let's try to visualize this in an easy way for you. The price tag here, let's say there's a dollar, $1.10, say, I got this, I'm typing this out backwards. We'll do, and then let's say like 90 cents or something. Right? So if these are all limits sell orders, right? And someone just apes in with a large order, or a bunch of retail reacts simultaneously. What'll happen if let's say we bought here and there's about, I don't know, like $200 worth of orders here. I'm just doing this for easy math. Or let's say $100 for easy orders here, $100 of orders here. We'll say like $200 of orders here. And we'll say another let's say about $500 of orders here or something like that. These are all limit sell orders. In the price action, let's say it's at like 89 cents at the time. Okay. If someone jumped in with about $200 at once, remember, this is easy math examples. These are not realistic order book flow. Someone jumped in at like $200 at once during this moment. Price action would run right up to the last limit sell order, which would be like around here, right? So we just teleport in price and we create a fair value gap. The order books get cleared, so it becomes easier for us to come down. So that's kind of the reaction that you'd expect when we get to this over here, because people aren't going to have, let's zoom out on this. Okay, so people aren't going to have very many sell orders in a gap like this, because they know that there's not very much interest in this area, right? So they're going to pair their sell orders over here, and then sometimes we just teleport in price if we get enough buy orders to fill all the tiny orders that are likely going to be here, and the bigger orders are going to come here. And that's kind of like so that's kind of like what you want to expect when we get close to fair value gaps. It's that kind of price action behavior. Now, time does sometimes invalidate this, but when people look at the charts, they're looking at key levels for their exit plans or their entry plans. So likely we'll zip past this zone. So right now, yeah, like I said before, this is your big boss that you want to beat. I appreciate you sending me the tip, man. So all you got to do is ask. I know sometimes I get asked a lot of requests, so I don't get to them all. But I really appreciate the tip. All right, we're at the downtrending momentum right now for Bitcoin. We're trying to have the opportunity to use the orb and this previous high here as a form of support. We can start zooming in on lower time frames to kind of get a better picture of the story. And right now we're just lacking that bearish change of character to define acceptance back inside the orb and bring us back down, or that break structure higher high to bring us up further. If we come down, guys, it's likely going to induce even more liquidity above us. Let's check out the chat here. We got the Otter Gang in here. What's up, guys? You took a long on fart. Okay. Right on. Thoughts on TP levels? I don't like doing TA on that asset, but yeah, I could do it. So it'll be so risky trading Bitcoin off of the smaller time frame analysis. Yes and no. Yeah, sometimes you'll have multi-time frame closes into key levels. In 3 minutes, a dissection of the 15. The 5 minute time frame was a great time frame for this age of this range. Fartcoin is the future of finance. Okay, I'll take a look at it here for you. What's up, Julian? How you doing? We got decent crypto in here now. We got Diamond Palm in here. What's up, man? French Toaster. Brett. Hit the target before you saw that. Oh, we were looking at it this morning, man. We have Bitcoin hasn't been friendly since January. Yeah, it depends on what strategy you're trading. Some of the strategies have been front run or had their butt kicked. Valley area trading has been great. You're just looking at the valley area lows as areas of confluence for longs, valley area highs for shorts. And all you're lacking when we get to those zones is just structure. You just got to use the structure to guide you into your trade after that. I highly, highly, highly recommend you guys look into valley areas if you haven't already. It's been what's made me profitable since 2020. Support resistance 4 hour level. We have 4 hour structures. Here we go, key level up here at 93K. You just create a 4-hour order block. Basically, the orb is the order block. So that gives us a higher percentage chance of using this as a form of support to induce the break of this downtrending momentum. And maybe we'll take out that liquidity here at this high. Kind of wrapped around the liquidity zone here with this red box zone. Yeah, we had some, yeah, the squeeze was what was insane. Just kind of like went dead overnight, and then we finally had that break. I'd say out of this range, the most miserable part was this here. Let's see if we get that acceptance. So we got our head hit here. We're starting to get a proper pullback. This is the only proper pullback that we have on the 3-minute time frame until here. So now what we're lacking to define a reversal or a safe call of the reversal is maybe just a sweep of the high and then close at that new low. We close inside the orb, but we're still above this previous high, so we should still have a high probability of a bounce here. So if you're preparing for a short for any reason, you want to see this high swept and take the low for a safer entry. Otherwise, in my opinion, is high risk. I'm not saying it won't go straight down from here, but structurally it's higher risk. But a close instead of a sweep, a close would invalidate the likelihood of us coming down and increase the probability of us going up. So we're looking, watching around the VWAP as a form of support. All right, let's take a look at Altcoin while we wait. I'm going to get this alert set up. I want to do only once. You don't want to do once per bar close would be the alert telling you that we're going to have a continuation because the candle will close past that point. Only once would notify you so long as we tap that area, right? So this is good for preparing for both the bearish and the bullish scenario. So we have the only once. We'll change the notifications to like a bullfrog sound. So we'll know if we hear a frog, we prepare for a potential setup coming up soon. And we'll create. This is a good way to help you, stay off the charts too long, guys. If that's one of the things that you struggle with as a trader is, staring at the screen and waiting for the setup. And the problem with looking at the screen all day is that you start to invest a lot more emotion, and then you're more likely to take trades that aren't there, right? You need to have a checklist, right? You need to have a set of rules that you back tested, so you know the percentage chance of them hitting their targets, and you need to check off every one of your rules before you take a trade. And structure is always my final rule. And of course, risk reward ratio too. Okay. Let's take a peek at Altcoin. I'll do this for you guys. All right. Why is it not pulling up? Is that the ticker? It's not pulling up. There it is. Okay. The asset's name is the ticker. All right. Going to MEXC. Be careful with MEXC. Sometimes they don't ask for enough liquidity. So you'll get gaps like this in your charts. Let's zoom out. So May Band-Aid, giving everyone memberships. You helped me reach a milestone. What was the deletion for? Anyways, yeah, now we can start adding emotes and stuff like that, thanks to May Band-Aid. I'm not sure why the message was deleted. I didn't read it in time. But I do appreciate the gift for the community there. That's awesome. Yeah, YouTube requires just 2 people to sign up under the membership system, and then you start unlocking a bunch of cool stuff that you can start giving away to the community. So now we can start going ahead with that. So I really appreciate it. If your message was deleted because you put like a... Oh, you undid it. Okay, thanks, man. That's okay. Really appreciate it. That's awesome. Okay, so going through Altcoin, we have this uptrending momentum that was just recently lost. We came up and we had the supply that helped induce this pullback here, right? That's when we started generating this uptrending momentum, when we had this double bottom break back up to the upside. This double bottom was induced by this supply, giving us a pullback here. And we ran up and mitigated the more macro supply, right? So now our big boss, this boss has basically already been beat, but there could be some internal stuff that we have to watch out for, of course. So the next big one for Altcoin is up here. We have a 4-hour order block up here. So I'll be marking this as a good strong key area of interest. I'll actually wrap around up to here and then just mark this as a previous low form of resistance, getting a close back inside of this supply would likely give us a rotation up to that barrier. Let's get a local resistance marked. Let's zoom out a little further. So this is aged enough on MEXC to give us a 200-day EMA now. We started to break down trending momentum. So been really good confluence on that double bottom there. That double bottom here, even though it's ascending and we didn't get like an internal change of character or anything like that, but when we did break that neckline, we got above the 50-day EMA, we broke the downtrending momentum, and then we just had to watch this as your form of confluence for resistance. And then we had the bearish flip, failure to create the higher high, and same kind of boat along the way down. Very similar, ascending double bottom, close above the EMA to help drive the price up, descending double top, close below the EMA, driving the price back down. But this case, we also lost uptrending momentum. We zoom in a little bit further on the local price action. We'll delete this noise. We can draw a fixed range volume profile off of this. And our supply here. That candle is wonky. Pull from here to here. So this is a balanced value area. Whenever you see like a D-shaped format like this, it's a balanced value area. Whenever you see a B, you got to be a little more cautious of other key levels. That's our downtrending momentum. And then we can zoom in the 15-minute. And we can see we got that SFP. And it's already hit its technical target, so that was a missed opportunity there. Wild move, though. Fair value gap SFP move like that. Filled that whole area. So now we're kind of at an area of confluence where we compare for potential reversals, especially as we approach this downtrend momentum. In order for me to trust momentum, sometimes it's best to look at the order books to see if there's a sell wall in that area. If there's a sell wall, then you know that there are other trade participants preparing to sell there as well. Or if it's a large sell wall, then it could be a market maker pushing the price down as well. I would say if you're late too long, I wouldn't take one right now. I'll be looking for a retracement back down to the value area low. We have a 15-minute order block here. We got a 15-minute order block here as well. Send it back. And for those of you who don't know what an order block is, it's just think of it as a 2-candle pattern that defines a high likelihood of either institutional involvement or residual buy orders from that involvement. So when we get back down here, those buy orders are likely to fill and increase the probability of return back up. It's not enough to just ape in on a long off them, but they're a great confluence. And the confluence that we have here right now is the fact that it's at the value area low. The confluence here is that we deviated below the value area low. So this whole area is a good zone to prepare for structural evidence of support to start targeting the value area high again. And in this case, our front run area would be the point of control and downturning momentum. So I'm expecting that this asset's likely we might come up here a little bit further, mitigate the rest of the supply concern, tap this previous low like we did right here, and just prepare for a move back down. And this is where I prepare for longs again. And we can see that we're getting squeezed, right? This is called a descending triangle. Descending triangles kind of tell you the story that there's strong buyers waiting here, but the sellers are still technically in control, driving the price down until eventually enough liquidity is induced enough here to encourage more buyers to drive the price up. Market makers love inducing liquidity so they can use it as an exit plan. Ascending triangles tell the same kind of story but in reverse. And they're one of the easiest formations to learn in terms of like when you're trying to use order books in confluence with your trading, because there's usually a lot of buy walls down at the bottom of a descending triangle. So if you're just learning order books, I recommend looking around for these so you can see how the buy walls get eaten up, and if the buy walls are stronger than the sell walls in the order books, then that tells you that we're more likely going to break to the upside than the downside. So that's for Altcoin. I hope that helps you out. Going back to Bitcoin, see how it's behaving. Going back to the 3-minute. Haven't had that pullback just yet. We're on the point of control. We breached the previous highs here. Got a little micro 1-minute demand zone here. Nothing much really to note about, but still something you should watch. So just waiting for that sweep. Okay. What was the price alert again? So the price alert is just at $89,933.40 on the Bybit chart. It might be slightly different depending on which chart you're looking at. Bybit, I prefer Bybit when we're looking at lower time frames like this because Bybit has a ton of liquidity. So we have clean charts, clean price action, but you should wait to see it also occur on the exchange that you're actually trading on, just for that extra security. Today we have a giveaway, by the way, guys. We have a giveaway for a $6,000 account to Klein Funding. It's a prop firm system, so you can actually technically, they're partnered with Bybit, so you'll be able to trade a lot of the assets that they have available on Bybit's chart, even if you're not able to trade on Bybit. I'm not really a giveaway girl, but not gonna lie, excited for the giveaway today. I'm always excited to see who the winner's gonna be. I really get to know a lot of the community, even like the new people that are jumped into watching the lives, and I'm excited to see you guys win. Let me get that set up while we're waiting here. Just gonna do it on the other monitor. so we don't break everything. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of some of these tabs. I got too many tabs. And if you got CPU issues with your computer, just note that, like, if I hover my mouse over this, especially if you're using Google, it'll tell you how much memory you're using. And if you're, every time you put a line on your chart, every time you put an indicator in your chart, it takes up more virtual memory. So it's good to try to stick to the assets that you're actually going to be trading or watching. And just, yeah, make sure you close them down. Because it does, no matter how good your computer is, it'll start to take a toll on it. Let's see what Solana's hitting its head off its momentum, point of control. Just going to like look at these really quick as we close down the charts. Prepare for that giveaway. Cardano. We didn't look at Cardano yet today. I took a quick peek at it today and to see. Looks like Solana actually swept its low. So I had likely grabbed some liquidity in the form of stop losses and liquidations. It broke its most recent internal high here. It's above its point of control. It is slipping into a valley. So right here, where this previous high is, it's going to be an area of concern in confluence with the downturning momentum. This momentum comes from a decent trend-based move up from 42.73. So this has been paced the buyers since then, or sellers, sorry, since then. But yeah, with Cardano, what you really want to see on the 15-minute time frame is getting above this value high. I'm mainly saying this as a holder. If anyone's a holder of Cardano, what you want to see is break this high, retest, higher high, using this value area as a form of support. That is a trend-based confirmation telling us that we're going to move up to the next value area or previous value area. And we have fair value gaps here, so we could sprint all the way up to this supply concern up here at 0.3894. But you should first be in the mindset that this is going to act as resistance and come back down to the value area low. If you have an opposing change of character or a failure to create that higher high past this zone, then when I say zone, I just mean the high at 0.3696, where that wick level is. So you can mark that wick level to prepare for an SFP or an opposing change of character after we sweep it. A decent confidence there for a short, but I'd love to see this thing recover. So I'm not a big holder of Cardano, but I feel bad for some of the people that are, because it would have been punished pretty hard. Going down, so I'll save this chart. Chainlink. As we close this chart down. And then I'll start going through the other requests here, guys, after the giveaway. I'm just trying to speed up this pace of my computer here. I got this amazing, cool custom setup, but something's gone wrong. So my computer's like super slow. Okay, internal pullback. Log it into the giveaway system now. Feel like everything's fast enough. Oh man, where all the DMs come from? I finally got caught up to all my DMs yesterday. I got like 20. Okay. Almost locked in here, guys. Sorry. All right. We had that bounce at the point of control, but what we really... structurally, what I want to see is that pullback. We close below here. We could fall quickly to the VWAP, like super quickly to the VWAP. All right, I just got to get the live code. Okay, got that. Start listening. Looks like it's making me want to log out and log back in. No problem. Log back in. Sorry for the delay here, guys. Custom systems like this are sometimes finicky. Start listening. I need at least one of you guys just to say the word giveaway. Oh, never mind. You're already doing it. Yeah, overcome. All you gotta do is say the word giveaway. I just need one person to say giveaway. Just make sure it's listening properly. If it's not, I just need to log out again and log back in again. Okay. Thanks, Juan. There. Not sure how delayed I'm front running. Okay, it's not listening right now. I just got to try again. Reset. Stop. Log out. Log back in. And then yeah, it looks like the listing system I'm gonna have to update. I can only give, see, this is what's happening, just so you guys are aware of what it looks like. So I type in our video ID, which is like the end point of the link. I click on start listening for this giveaway, this word, and it's not listening for us. So I need to fix something there. What it is allowing me to do is give away to members of the Discord. So I can only do a giveaway right now for people who are already existing members. So I'm super sorry about that, guys. I'll have this fixed by next Friday, but we'll see who wins the $6,000 account for Klein funding if you're already an existing member. So I'm going to click on go to draw page. If you are a standard member, you get 3 tickets. If you're an elite member, you get 6 tickets. So we go to draw page and see who the winner is. Hosea. Congratulations, man. He's an elite member who won the $6,000 account. I'll do a post in the Discord just to notify you in case you're not here. So congratulations. If you are here, then that's awesome. Don't whammy me. But yeah, I promise I'll get that fixed for you guys by the next giveaway. Sorry about that. Congratulations, man. All right, we're getting that pump, guys, that we're asking for politely. So now what we want to see here to prepare for a short. There's that alert. if we get a close, so far we swept a little bit of it, but if we close above here, it'll invalidate the idea of us coming down. Instead, it'll be going up into our next key level of interest to prepare for shorts. It'd be up here. But remember, we have a big fat magnet in our face. And that magnet is the pooled liquidity that's right here. Tons and tons of liquidity at 90,600 area inside this area. So this could be an area where we prepare for an exit plan as a market maker, and an area how us retail traders can use them as the tool to help us towards our bearish targets. So this is looking pretty strong right now. So I'm not thinking that we're going to be coming down from here. Let's see what happens. The confluence we have for shorts right here is that 66-day point of control that helped induce this awkward range that we had here and this rejection that we had here. So let's see if we get that rejection again, like similar to what we saw here. If not, I'm expecting us to come up through here. And the fact that we broke momentum makes me a little bit more bullish than bearish. I'm not saying jump into a long. If you were in a long, you should have been a long down here, right? This is what you use to tell you the story of whether or not you're allowed to hold your long or not. And if you're not in a trade right now, this is where you're preparing for shorts, okay? We have two good zones to prepare for shorts. All right, let's delete this. It's invalidated. I could delete this. An SFP option is also invalidated. Instead, we're definitely getting that break of structure. And this, by the way, is a technical SFP right here. But I want to tell you how you can avoid bad SFPs. So when you see a sweep like this, this is technically SFP. What confirms an SFP is when price action comes up, sweeps that high, and then closes below the wick, right? Which is what we had here. This is an SFP candle. However, look how the candle closed. We closed above this previous high. This is a form of price acceptance. So if you have a sweep like this, it's really, really safe for you to wait for the next following candle to see how it behaves first. And in this case, it's telling us don't short, right? You want to get your face melted. And when it's that close, like a hairline like that, then you got to be super cautious. I'm getting some good momentum here. But yeah, if I were to draw pathing, and where I prefer for a short, it would be right here. It's my big preference for a short if we're going to take one. We delete this red box zone. We mitigated those order blocks. We do have a ton of confluence here for shorts. So what we'll be lacking from this moment on, the only thing we're lacking for a short is structure. That's it. Our current key level on this time frame is right here for shorts for that bearish change of character, but we can probably get a much better key level as price action develops. We get two candle pullback here, higher high, new key level for our change of character. But right now it's right here. Now, this has generated a picture that displays a form of demand. So when we do prepare for our shorts, this is going to be a key level that we're going to watch as a form of barrier along the way down. So we got to watch, we green box this zone, similar to how we green box this zone down here to help us guide us into longs, right? This whole zone was a zone of interest for longs because of that structural behavior. And we're getting that structural behavior again right here. It's in the middle of a range, so it's not as, great as an area for prepare for longs, but it is a good area to watch when you're preparing for an exit plan for shorts. I would prefer to see supply or demand structure like this above and below a valley area, so you'd have better confluences for shorts, right? We had, this was our supply inside of this valley area, and we hit our head off of it consistently, and we mitigated up until this point. So we kind of niched down our box to be a bit smaller, similar to why we had it like that here before. We kind of mitigated it down to here. This range has been pretty predictable, but the structure has been a little bit awkward sometimes. What price on short? Preferable price, not to limit in, but to wait for structure, is at 90,542. We are sweeping the high though right now from 90,295, getting a good, this is an SFP reaction right here. Hasn't confirmed yet. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the 3 minute or 5 minute to confirm it as an SFP. We got the SFP already on the 3 minute. So the 3 minute is telling us the story right now based on the current posture that we're going to be coming down to this low. That is the technical target of that 3 minute SFP. So here to here, while being very cautious of the fact that this previous high is aligned with this point of control. And that's why I would prefer to wait up here if we're going to get a sweep like that, because we'd have more distance to prepare for that opposing confluence. And right now that opposing confluence is right in our face, where this point of control is right here on the 66 day. And we have a volume shelf, a little small volume shelf there too, and previous highs. So even though, yes, this is saying SFP, we're going down, I don't recommend taking it. Now, what's nice about the fact that we're getting a bit of a pullback here, though, maybe we'll get 2 candles, that'd be nice, is that we could build a neckline here. So if we build a neckline here, whether it gives us a higher high or not, and we close below this area, then we'd have a good confluence for it to come down. But again, I still prefer us to have the higher probability of return down. So this would be a good moment to actually look at the order books, because we don't know if this liquidity is still guarded, right? If there's a giant sell wall, then that will tell us that this liquidity is guarded, right? So we can go to a tool like CoinGlass right here, and this tells you what people are doing with their limit orders. So we have, what we want to look for is sellers right now, right? And we have a peak area of interest right here at 90,490. So 90,500, 490 area. So we got a little bit of people, some people trying to front run this area right here for shorts. Well, there's one of my alerts, sorry. Thank you, God. No problem. You have to run, Coma? See you, man. Oh, yeah, David has his call at 1 p.m. today, guys. If you want to learn more about mindset control and swing trading, David is one of our coaches inside the community that can help you learn all that stuff. You're welcome to ask me questions like that too. But yeah, David's really got it down in a good way that relates to a lot of people. Are we getting that pullback? Yeah, a good neckline location for a pullback would be here. When I say neckline, by the way, think of the term of neckline like you're trying to prepare for a bounce there. Because neckline's a term for double tops and double bottoms. where you have that peak area where there's buy side liquidity waiting or sell side liquidity waiting. So if we get that confluence in this zone, it gives you a good higher probability reasoning to jump into a short. That's why I'm not taking that SFP though, because there's just a lot of opposing confluence right in our face. It becomes more of a higher time frame thing, maybe.